Welcome. This is Denarius Lewis with Motivated Mentors, DenariusLewis.com, training and building entrepreneurs to success. What I'm going to talk about today is finding happiness in your everyday life. For those who don't know me, I'm a 22-year-old motivational speaker. When I was 19, I was homeless, and I just came out with my first book. It's called The Criminals of a Personality, a guide for prosperity, success, and happiness. It's in the Amazon Kindle market, so those who want to read that book about prosperity and how I overcame being homeless, to find my happiness, traveling the world, and helping people find their passions. So what I'm going to talk about today is going to be finding your happiness in your everyday life. I'm currently here. I traveled all the way from Lag is Heavy. Thank you. Let's see. Lag is Heavy. But what I was going to say is, what I'm going to talk about today is going to be the having prosperity and happiness in your everyday task. I currently traveled from Minnesota, drove a 15-hour drive to Tennessee. I am currently visiting family for a couple of weeks. I haven't met my mother since I graduated high school. I haven't met my mother since 2011. I've only seen her twice in the past 4 years. So what I'm going to talk about today is just finding your happiness with the people you surround yourself with and who you choose to build your future with. So I'm here in Tennessee, and I've been hearing a lot of things in the news. It's a lot of negative things. I'm typically the person who doesn't watch the news, but since I'm staying with my mother, she is big into the news. Every day there's someone's dying. There's, kids being murdered at 2 years old. There's people being shot, robbed. A lady just got robbed. She was trying to sell her dog on Craigslist, and the people who showed up robbed her at gunpoint for the puppy. And you'll once you start to discover things about life, life is very beautiful, but at the same time, it's such a scary place. I'm 22 and I have a lot to learn. I currently read 3 books a week. I just finished my first book. Again, that's The Criminals of a Personality, a guide for prosperity, success, and happiness on the Amazon Kindle market. But when you start to look at all the negative things in life, you'll never see the possibilities and the opportunities you can create for yourself. And me being young and entrepreneur, my mother's always telling me, why don't you have a job? Why don't you go back to school and get a degree? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And you start to see that the kids out of our age, the millennials, the 20-year-olds, the 19-year-olds, the people who are just looking to jump out of the 9 to 5, the typical routine, they start to realize that, life's not all about living paycheck to paycheck. Life's not always about paying the bills. At the end of the day, another job's always going to be there, another opportunity is going to be there. The bills are always going to be there, but will your passion and will your dream be there? And what I want to get across in this video is really just focus on your inner divine in life. I'm currently getting, I'm young and I've been naive, and I can now admit that I'm currently getting back into religion. I'm currently, I have to open myself up because at the end of the day, I can't go to the places I want to go unless I have the faith and belief, my personal religion. And so what I want to talk about today, people can comment. I'm reading the comments. Thank you guys for that. But you really want to hone in on what you want to do in life. Again, life is short. As I stated before, there's people dying left and right. There's people getting murdered. There's, unexpected events, car crashes. Tracy Morgan, the actor from SNL, he currently just had a car crash not too long ago, and he's rebuilding his life. And I've been listening to his story. He's, trying to get back to his just being him, being himself. And the only way you can feel yourself is when you're being truthful to yourself. You have to be honest. And for those who can see me, I'm sweating. It's hot. I'm outside. It's Tennessee, and it's roughly around 95 degrees. But again, like I said, life is short, and I have something I really want to accomplish. I want to be the next, Les Brown, the Tony Robinson, the Zig Ziglar, the Jim Rohn. I'm looking to be one of those cats at an earlier age. I don't want to look back on my life and say, I wish I would have done this or I should have done that. I want to live my life to the fullest, and the only way I can do that is really taking, to some people it's risk, but to me it's an opportunity waiting to happen. I don't believe in risk. I really don't believe in risk. There's a difference from danger, doing all these other things, but there's no such thing to me personally as risk, because you won't know. The only risk is the risk you're not willing to take. And I've missed out on plenty of opportunities. I just had a friend, he's a big investor, you know, making all this money in Minnesota, and he just reached out to me and said, hey, I'm going to be doing the World Poker Tour, you know, I'm a really good poker player, give me, you know, the buy-in's $10,000, I win whatever ranking I get, you'll get a payout of $800,000. And obviously anyone's going to take that, but at the end of the day, you know, some things aren't worth, you know, personally my time. I didn't, you know, yes, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, yes, Zig Zig's, those are the guys. I listen to Zig Ziglar, Les Brown every day. T.D. Jakes, for those who know who he is as well. And I've been able to, you know, build my story to where I want and where I'm going. Let's see, don't think like that. Living on impulse, you're going to have regrets. I like that comment. So someone just commented, don't you think you living off an impulse is something you regret? I want to say if you take, well, you have to know your circumstances, and everyone's different. I again, like I said, I'm young and naive, and I like to live in my naiveness, because at the end of the day, if I don't do something that my mind tells me to do, I'm going to shut it down. And I know I've shut myself down for so many, you know, obstacles. When I was 19, I started my own business. I created an app called Zombie Doodle for iPads and iPhones. You know, I've lived the summer of 2013 with only $1.78, and I used to be homeless when I was 19. So when you have an impulse that, you know, is either negative or positive, the only way you can decide if it's something that you want to do is, you know, you want to write down what are the benefits you're going to get from taking that obstacle. You want to see what obstacles you're going to have to overcome, the negativity, the positive, you know, the pros and cons. But the biggest con is you not knowing if you don't do it. So, I mean, I've shut myself down from a lot of personal, you know, friendships, all those other different things. And again, like I said, I don't live life with regrets. We're all going to die someday. So the only thing that gives value, the only thing you should give value to life is things that you find valuable. My friendships, my friends, my family, the new people I meet. Again, like I said, I'm 22. I traveled 15 hours to Tennessee, and I drove here by myself, packed my car, and said, I'm going. And the only way I did that was, you know, I want to do something big, and the only way I can do that is getting myself out of the small-minded people that I was surrounding myself with in Minnesota. I love my friends, but my goals are different than the people I surrounded myself with, and the only way I can push myself towards my goals is having faith and belief behind what I'm pursuing, which is, you know, just traveling the world, helping people find their prosperity. An author, helping my mother retire. She's 54. She's been working the same 9-to-5 job for over 16 years, and seeing her do that with a degree, why would I want to do that and beat my body down? I want to be able to, you know, take my children wherever and never have, think big, yes, and never have the obstacle and say, I can't get out of it, you know. And the reason why I haven't been to see my mother for over 4 years, I've only seen her twice in the past 4 years, I started working a job, and that job helped me back. You know, for even to get like a week off or time off, you have to be with the company for a year or so to even get, you know, paid vacation and all that other stuff. Well, I could never take a paid vacation because I had bills to pay. I was, you know, on top of that, I was helping my mother pay her bills at 19 years old, 20 years old. I've been to 3 colleges in 3 years, so I have college debt. I mean, I went to college in Iowa, college in Sierra Nevada College, it's a college in St. Cloud State, Minnesota. And bills just kept piling up and piling up. And I remember the first time I got a call from a debt collector, and it was the very first I seen your YouTube. Thank you. Oh, hey, yeah, I know Viv. Yeah, and I remember the first day I got a call from a debt collector, and I literally had 75 cents in my bank account. And I couldn't tell them, hey, I personally could not hold that conversation with them and saying, hey, I couldn't even give them a date when I could pay my old school. And that's when life started to hit me more, when, you know, the unexpected things in life just start showing up. And the biggest things that are unexpected are things that are surrounded around money. When you have the lack of money, the lack of wealth, the lack of knowledge how to create wealth, you get stressed, you have high anxiety, you start wondering, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to put more hours into it. You're going to work 80 hours a week, 100, whatever it may be. I have my sister's boyfriend, actually fiance. He is currently working 14 to 15 hours a day, overnight shifts, just and on top of her schedule as well. They never even get to see each other unless they're sleeping in bed for the little time they're together. Once she gets off work at 11 p.m., he has to work at midnight. So she comes, picks him up, and drops him off. And I see my family working so hard just to live and survive. I refuse to, fall into that trap of, just trying to survive. I'm looking to see past, having a job, because at the end of the day, to me, there's no such thing as job security. You go to McDonald's, machines are not replacing the people because the people want to protest. Trust me, anxiety is so real when it comes to bills. And I'm here in Tennessee. I'm listening to my mom. She tries to hide her bill situations, and I can overhear her, whispering to, and I see the debt collectors calling my mother. She's 54 years old, and it hurts to see, at the age that you want to feel relaxed, you want to retire, but you're still chasing that paycheck. The next, and my family's taking a trip down to Atlanta, and my mother's never been to any no place fancy because you never had the money. She's going to Atlanta. I'm just trying to explain to her, Atlanta is like going to New York. Atlanta to her is going to New York, and I'm just like, Mom, that's just why not go to New York? But it costs money to do so. And my mom, I'm moving to Florida. Just over broke. Yes, just over broke. That's so true. And I actually, I'm glad you say that. A job is just over broke. I actually had one of my friend's mother. She's watching my videos on Facebook, because I post these videos on Facebook and talking about the just over being broke. And she, really gave me a novel on my Facebook message in regards of, having a job, and, actually jumping to a job and all those other things. And, I didn't want to, offend her, because, some people who have those long careers, they're passionate behind, and they're, they feel like offended, or like they feel like they've left something out when a person's chasing their dreams at such a young age. I'm 22 again, and she's 50, and, I saw so much talent in her. She had overcome cancer. She's raising these boys. She's raising 2 boys. She's a successful mother and a CEO, and then she reads personal development books. So we definitely hit it off when we talked. So when I talked to her, I gently asked her, would you ever be considered writing a book or novel, or writing a blog about your life? And she shut her whole life down. Her whole 50 years, was being alive and being a parent, being in the profession she's in. She shut it down. And, to me, I just like, all right, well, I'm not going to, whatever it may be.
It's your name. You're over broke. Yeah, that's your name, just over broke.
Yep, just over broke. I like these comments you guys are putting here. And again, you guys can find me on Facebook. A job is good for survival, but not. Goodness gracious, I love that. I love that statement. That's so true. And, my idols growing up were, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, and obviously all the people who made an influence. But if you look at their life and where they started, everyone starts truly from nothing. You really, you can create anything out of life. We live in people who are watching this international, we live in America, a place filled with opportunities, American dream. And again, my book is about the American dream. And how, it's dying in America. I've seen more people settle than actually go and pursue. And again, at 22, it brought tears to me. I remember when I broke down. I used to be a debt collector, and I called this lady. Again, I was 20 years old, being a debt collector. So that's why I'm a little bit more wise, because I know what debt does to you, even if you have a degree. So I called this lady, and she had a master's degree. She was around 25 years old. She just had her first child, and she was in $200,000 in debt. And I called her at 20 years old, flat broke, calling her, and she just broke down on the phone crying to me. And, and it just hit me. Like, I just sat back and I apologized to her, and I just hung up. And that just really just set me down, and I realized that even if I chase a degree, your title of the book, what is it again? It is The Criminals of a Personality, A Guide for Prosperity, Success, and Happiness. You can go in the Amazon Kindle market and just search my name, Denarius Lewis, and it'll pop up. I also have an app, the Denarius Lewis app for Androids only. And what that app is, you can get in contact with me. It has all my blogs, my videos. Basically, it's like a mobile app for everything I posted online that comes all together. Denarius Lewis app, and the book is called The Criminals of a Personality. But I'm going to try to make this video a little bit shorter, but I just want to get across to people. Feel blessed in life that, every day you wake up is truly a blessing. I mean, I've really been honing into my religion now and realizing that, I went to church for the very first time in, I want to say, the past really 4 or 5 years. Actually, I'm going to be honest, I've been to church for almost, 8 or 9 years. To be